What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. CLFurlong here, and we are all about reselling, running, lifestyle, and everything in between. Now today we are going through the May financial results, and what I mean by that is the income report for how much I have earned, how much I have done for May 2021 reselling online. And it's been, well, spoiler alert, it's been my best month yet. Once again, last month was probably my worst month, almost my worst month, and we're back up there. It's literally that roller coaster ride. We have hit top notch, and I'm excited to take you through the numbers. Of course, we'll go through all the details, break down, what's in these numbers. I'll take you through some of the data from, some of the items that have sold. Of course, we'll jump into all that jazz. I get excited with this stuff, so let's just get into it. So here is a summary of May 2021, and we have done a total of 84 items sold. Total cost of items came to just over $500, and we are up in average cost of goods, but it's not too bad. It's around that $6 mark, and total revenue for the month was $3,613. So we have gone up by 24, almost 25%. Average sale price being around that $43 mark. Total fees and posts. This really hurts. $1,300 in fees and postage combined. So we're averaging basically per sale around a $15 cost. Now my fees on average are around, what's about 13%. So it's a bit crazy when you think about that, but my average postage price is around that, $9.80 mark, around there somewhere. We'll get to that shortly, but basically this month, we're up by 13%, which makes sense because I've done about 20 more items in terms of sales, and we've hit some higher numbers, so it does make sense. But I tell you, the only way to bring this down is to be selling off eBay, but at the same time, it gives you the most eyeballs, so the best bang for buck. So it is definitely that love-hate relationship. And then the big number, total profits for this month is $1,784. So we are up by 62%, which is just crazy, just crazy. And that's also because we have a higher margin of 49.4%, which is up by 3% too. So pretty happy with this. I'm very happy, to be honest. Very, very stoked. So let's just jump ahead. So we'll break down a bit more of what we've done for the month. So as you know, we went through the cost of goods, we went through the sales, but here you can see average postage cost was $9.83. Fees were sitting at about $5.81 per item. Now I've had some big ticket items this month, which we will touch on shortly, but it's just really exciting to see these numbers, and it's encouraging. And I want to be very clear that this isn't every month, which we know, and that's why I take you through this. Also to keep myself, in the reality of how this game works, but also, to help share with you guys and what to expect. Now, the next thing that you can see there a bit lower down is basically a breakdown of all the different categories that I'm selling. And I've been saying over the last couple of weeks that books, toys, and DVDs are my bread and butter. And you can see here that majority of my profits, $528 profits came from books. And then we've got $450 coming from toys, and then $360 from DVDs and videos, which is crazy. It's just crazy. And even the revenue as well, that books are bringing in the revenue. So, and I want to be clear, a lot of these books are bundles. They're not individual books. So that's what I have enjoyed doing, is those bundles of books. But I did get some high items in terms of individual books as well, which if you haven't seen my what sold individual videos through the weeks, and we'll see it in a second, you would have seen one of the books I sold for $170, which is just crazy. So anyway, going into this data, it's good to see that I do have a variety. I was able to sell, a bit more interesting different things here. So I've got some shoes, I've got some clothes, bric-a-brac, just trickling through. And this is all part of the game, but really, books, toys, and DVDs, that's where the magic is. All right, so the top sold items for this month, and that's a lot of these I've already said in my weekly videos, but just in case you haven't seen those, you can jump in here and see the spoilers. So I've done this a little different this month, just trying to keep it short and sweet for you guys. So top item number one was the Lego Creator Series, which was last week. I picked this up for $3.77. Sold it for $235 with a $194 profit. Item number two, which was that book I mentioned, I sold that for $170. I got it for just shy of $1.70, and the profits on that was around $130, which is just crazy. Next, once again, being the books, Foot Trot Flats was from last week as well. As you can see there on screen, some high profits of around $108. I did manage to sell for top item number 4 an iPod Mini Classic, old. I can't remember which one it is, but this was an item that I had just got from a friend years ago, and it had been sitting around just waiting to, be sold. Sold that for $112 with a $93 profit. And then the Goonies VHS, if you didn't see or hear the story about that one, a lovely lady picked that one up, and she was so happy to finally have her her memory back, in terms of it was something that she cherished with her good friend watching, and it was just to become a shelf item. So it was really encouraging to be able to to sell that to that customer, and she was quite happy. I was quite happy, so it's been quite good. So these are the top 5 items. As you can see, I've got some toys, I've got a couple of books, electronics, and DVD/VHS. So the books being the most popular one here, but you can see why my profits for the books and toys have been up this month, because I got some big ones. Alright, so 2 cool items for this month have been, and this is just random, is a Captain Morgan bar display. Big hat. If you don't know Captain Morgan, it's an alcoholic drink. It's an alcohol beverage, and it was just a hat. So I sold that for $30, I think it was. And then the other one is Top Trump Simpsons cards. Now this was inside a board game, so this was a double whammy in terms of an item that I got on top of something that I purchased. Didn't realize it was in there until I was going through the board game. And this one I just sold recently as well for around $25, I think it was. Might have been a bit less than that, $15, can't remember, but hey, cost me nothing. So pretty happy with this one too. But just some random cool items. So flops for this month. Look, to be honest, some of this is a lot of the stuff I've been saying over the last couple of weeks, which is a few postage issues with some things being taken extra time, which is due to lockdown, but also some people got some items which were broken, or they were missing some pieces, which was a bit weird, which is actually the second point there. But the broken items, I did discuss, there were some mugs that arrived broken, and I just gave a partial refund. But missing DVDs, there was one experience I had where they said some of the DVDs were actually missing from the items I sent. I think I was getting dodged around, and I ended up just giving them a quick refund of $10, and they were quite happy. But look, it's been a pretty good month in terms of avoiding any of those issues with customers. There is some areas where I've flopped, where I've really, I guess, not done my best effort, which we'll touch on now actually, which is wins and lessons. So the wins for this month is definitely margins are up, which is great. We are tracking higher. I think it's the best margin month yet. And it's also been the best month yet, which is great, because it just goes to show not each month will continue to be growth on growth on growth. You're learning regardless, but it's just nice to be able to see that, after last month, which was, look, I was a bit disappointed it wasn't a big month, but hey, it's okay in this month to come up and now do my best. It's pretty encouraging. And then sourcing opportunities this month, I was able to get a bulk deal. I did pick up around 270 books or 370 books. Can't remember how many it was, but a big bulk buy off Facebook Marketplace. No, it was Gumtree actually. So that's been exciting. Also been sourcing a lot more online, just because also in lockdown. So finding new ways to source items. Now the lessons for this month, and this one actually, after looking through the information before doing this video, it's I'm disappointed with myself. So listing, I've been slack. We're going to get to that in a second. I've got a whole slide on it. But storage and management, I have been shuffling a few things, once again trying to get my workflows better, and I'm still struggling with this. Not that it's a bad thing, but I know it can be better. I am overwhelmed with items. I have a tendency to get out and source. I love sourcing. We all love sourcing, but I'm not getting the listings done, and that's becoming a problem. So being in lockdown this week, and who knows, it might get extended. I think this is good because it's forcing me to list. The other thing I've been, just reflecting on, preparing for, is preparation for financial year 22. So at the end of June, we're going to have obviously the end of the financial year, which means come FY22, it's a chance for me to take everything that I've learned for the last, 4, 5, 6 months and put it into a better practice, put in some better processes, and also it's a fresh start. It's a chance for things that haven't gone well in the last coming months. I can kind of fix those, start at a zero baseline. I mean, I'm not going to be starting at a zero baseline in terms of the data I'm tracking over a long period of time, but for some of the things I need to fix, how I guess I've got to do stock take, and I'll be able to, work out what's an offset in terms of a write-off, things that haven't sold, and going through that process. And also I'll be implementing in some new processes around things that I want to make sure I'm tracking to the dot, simply because I didn't do it for this financial year. Just I didn't realize, and I was late into the game, and because I'm so late into the game, it hasn't been as necessary. So yeah, so a few things there. Look, some of this has been in discussion with my accountant, so, just making sure I'm ready to rock and roll from, July 1st. One of the data areas I wanted to kind of take you all through is listings. And, I know we're always battling and pushing ourselves to list more, but at the same time, we want to be sourcing more too. So what I wanted to share with you, and the blue is sum of items listed and the red being sum of sales. I wanted to show you, since January, my sales are going up each month, which is good. On average, it's trending upwards. However, my listings are coming down, which in this case, it hasn't obviously been that bad because I'm still selling. But for me, I keep sourcing a lot of stuff. And if I want to grow, I need to have more things. I'm happy to have a good backlog of items, but I need to have a stronger amount in store ready to be sold, because I think a combination of both is important. Now, I've only listed 138 items this month, which is my lowest month yet. Look, I think this is a catch-22. I'm not here to say you need to list more, and I'm not here to say it's okay to not list. But look, listing, I think we all struggle with, and it's something which is definitely not the fun part of the process. There's things that I love to list and things that I just don't like listing. But I know that if I list them, I have a more opportunity to sell them, which means I can grow and scale and obviously make a bit more money. So this is what I'm battling with, and just trying to figure out what are the friction points of delaying me from getting listings done. And that I'm working through, but hey, I'm going to keep charging onwards because the next slide reveals some even more interesting data, which is my average cycle time. Now, as you can see, January, February, March, April, May, I have been growing in terms of average cycle times. Now, what this means is it's not something that I listed in that month, that it sold in that month, but the items that sold in May, their average sitting time has been 56 days. So what this is telling me is this is basically saying items that I listed in March have now sold in May. So majority of the items I sold in May haven't even been the items that I have sourced in this month or listed in this month. I listed them in March. So this also brings some interesting perspective because I've had bigger sales, bigger profits, and bigger results this month, but it isn't actually from me doing sourcing necessarily from this month. Now, some of the big ticket items I did source this month, but this is also a very interesting trend, just be able to see that items that are 56 days old have actually gone through and yeah, they've actually sold after 56 days. So this will be interesting to track over the next coming months as well. But as you can see, like stuff that I had in January and February, there are items that potentially are listed in the same month. March and April, they were about a month old. And then May, we're averaging almost 2 months old. So interesting. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. All right, so let's have a look at the running 2021 view. As you can see, we've got Jan, Feb, March, April, May. But what is interesting here is, as we jump down to May, I've done a total of 84 items. We've now boosted our average month to around 66 items. Cost of goods sitting around that $6.60 mark, and we've had a higher month this month in terms of average cost of goods. But obviously, that has worked out better because I have had better profits and I've had better revenues too. So average sale price has been the highest average sale price yet to date, and postage costs still, averaging down a little bit, a bit higher than last month, but it makes sense because some of the items I sold were bigger and bulkier. And then fees, still trending. Actually, it's the highest as well, which is interesting. Very interesting, actually. I didn't even realize this. So, $5.80 per item, which is, when you think about this adds up. And then profit is my highest profit month as well, per item as well. So, overall, we're averaging around, close to that $19 per item. So, when you start to think about this, if I was doing 10 items, we're looking at $180. If I did 100 items, we're looking at $1,800. So, this starts to help me understand, where things are at, what I'm going for, and what's playing out. And margins also being my highest, 49.4%, which is really nice. So averaging around that 47 margin. So the other couple of things I wanted to kind of just chat about quickly is I alluded to in my video just the other day was, as we get closer to the end of June, I will be going through a whole bunch of different data points to see what the data has told us. Obviously, a lot of it will be the same that I have discussed, but if there is things that you would love to see and understand or question, please let me know, because I want to use what I've got to be able to share and help others. At the same time, I do have a live stream tomorrow night, which is Thursday, the 3rd of June, which will be basically, a report on May, how I've gone for May with all my goals, not just on the reselling, but with the podcast, with my running, and some of the other goals I have. And that'll also be a chance, if you do want to have that Q&A with me, ask me a question, I'll do my best to answer it. But moving into FY22, that is my chance to get some things right, get some things better. Not using that as an excuse to wait until then to fix it. I'm using June at the moment to just test out some new processes that I really want to put in place. And that's actually not so much looking at it from this perspective, but actually looking at it from a business operating perspective outside of these numbers. Because one thing which, we look at this and we can see that, I've profited $1,700 this month, but where has that money actually gone into? Where has that been put back into? Has it gone into, actually growth to the business? Has it gone to just paying for expenses? Has it gone to going out and getting more goods? Or has it gone to my pocket? So I'll be diving into that because I really want to double down on that and then leverage opportunity to start to scale the business. And there's a few ways I'm looking at doing that, whether it is looking at targeted things to double down on, whether it's the bulk deals, wholesale deals, or is it, leveraging getting someone to help me with stuff so I can take time off, the listing and get someone else to list so I can spend time other areas, whatever it may be. And that's what I'm diving into because I'm going through the ideas of, what are the friction points that are annoying me or frustrating me or that aren't making me have that motivation. Of course, when I'm outsourcing, I feel like $1,000,000, but I can't just source and expect everything else to work as well. So look, it's been a really good month. I'm definitely happy with this, but at the same time, it's motivating me to think, well, I need to continue to keep charging, continue to see what I can do to do a little bit better. And, this really comes down to me not being lazy. I think I just need to get into the zone and see what's really causing me to, step away from that. But anyway, we'll worry about that next month. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, we are in lockdown. So I'm trying to use the next 2 weeks or week and a half, depending how much we're in lockdown for, to really, double down on the listings. So June will be interesting. I'm excited to see where we get to before we go into FY22. I hope your month has been good. Let me know in the comments how you've gone. Look, if you haven't gone as good as me, that's okay. There is the ups and downs. But maybe at the same time, you've done better. And, that's great because we all have different wins. We all have different losses. And each month is going to be different for all of us. So let me know in the comments below how you've gone. Of course, if there's any feedback, any thoughts, opinions, let me know. And I would love to hear from you, if you've got a question. So if you can pop onto the live stream tomorrow, I'll see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. But for now, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do the whole shebang, and hustle. Ciao.